Hey, what's up? Welcome to a new reading vlog. So, okay, I think this reading vlog has to start off with an explanation. First off, we're in bed because I'm sick. If you can't tell from my voice, I'm sick. I'm super sick. I'm having a horrible time. Where's my phone? I'm gonna be looking at my calendar so I can give you dates, okay? So I know if you saw my last video, which I'll link it up here, which is, I haven't spoken so much in a really long time, which is my last video. I was going through my TBR books and like explaining why, talking about some of the books that have been there for a long time and why they've been there for a long time. In that one I spoke about how I was gonna visit my cousin who lives in New Hampshire. That already happened. So I left on July 10th, Wednesday, July 10th, and I came back on Sunday, July 14th. Had a great time, super fun. We did a few things. And after I do this explanation clip, I'm gonna add in those clips up. It's all B-roll that I took on my New Hampshire trip. So there's that. And then we got back on Sunday because I'm with my aunt. And then on Thursday, July 18th, my sister and my brother-in-law, they got us tickets to go see Joey Fatone from Nsync and AJ Mclean from Backstreet Boys presents a legendary night, which it was just like a fun concert where they sang some Nsync songs, some Backstreet Boys songs, and some 90s 80s nostalgia type of music. That was a great night. And then on Saturday the 20th, I started to feel sick on Saturday night. And then on yesterday, on Tuesday the 23rd, my mom was like, you should take a COVID test. And I was like, I'm sure it's just a cold. Took the COVID test. It was positive. So I have the COVID, which is wild because I don't know what's going on, because my sister and my brother-in-law, that theater that we went to for AJ and Joey concert, my sister and my brother-in-law went to that theater a month prior for a different show, and he got COVID from that theater, at that theater. And then a month later we go to a different concert, the same theater, and I get COVID. Like, they must be growing it in that theater at this point, because what are the odds? Also, the one and only time I decide to go out and do something fun, I get it. Like, why? Like, I feel like you guys can tell from my vlogs that I don't really go out anywhere. I'm an introvert homebody. And the one time I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's have fun. This is why I don't go out. This is why I don't go out. Because I get sick so easily. Anyways, so the book that I started when I was in New Hampshire was My Lady Jane by Lady Janies, aka Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, Jody Meadows. This is on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm reading it on my Kindle, actually. Yes, I'm reading this on my Kindle. So I started it. I wanted a Kindle book because I felt like that would be easier to read on the drive there, because we took not a bus, it was like a big van. So I felt like that'd be the easiest to read on a road trip. So it would be on my Kindle. So I looked for a book that was on Kindle Unlimited, and I found that My Lady Jane was, and then I was like, that's even better, because now if I read this I could watch the TV show that's on Amazon. So I read a little tiny bit on my New Hampshire trip, but now I am currently on page 184, chapter 13. I'm enjoying this so far. There's been a few funny scenes, and I'm intrigued to see because they're kind of rewriting history, like it says here, sometimes history gets it all wrong, and this is about Lady Jane Grey, who was Queen of England for 9 days and then beheaded. So they're kind of like rewriting history, and I guess like what they think should have actually happened. And then there's magic involved in this, because there's these people that could I forgot what it's called, there's a name for it, but there's some people that can change into different animals. So yeah, but this has been so fun so far. I'm excited to get more into it. Also, I did attempt to read this once before a few years ago, and listen, everything, I feel like books sometimes it depends, timing is everything, because I enjoyed the first chapter. I only read the first chapter the first time I attempted to read this, but I enjoyed it. But I decided to read something else because I was doing like a try a chapter situation, so I didn't pick this up. And I'm so glad that I picked this up now, because this also follows King Edward, who is King Henry VIII's and Jane Seymour's son. And the first time I tried to read this, it was before I knew it was before Six the Musical existed, and before I like became obsessed with Six the Musical, and before I like gained all this knowledge about the 6 wives of Henry VIII. So now going into this, when they mention certain names, certain things, I know what they're talking about. So yeah, sometimes with books it's all about timing. So I feel like now was a better time for me to read this, because like I said, now I understand and know certain things, and things make a bit more sense. Like I know that Jane Seymour is Edward's mother in this, and when they mention like, oh yeah, like she died during childbirth, I already knew that. So not during childbirth, she died a few days after giving birth to him. So yeah, I feel like sometimes if you like read something or attempted to read something like once before, and you're thinking about maybe to give it a second chance, maybe try it, because yeah, like sometimes it's all about timing. But yeah, this is what I'm currently reading. I'm currently watching a YouTube video. I'm gonna finish watching that, and then Gavin from Gavin Reads It All, he did reading sprints on his Patreon yesterday, but I didn't watch them yesterday because I was tired. I was so fatigued that I had no energy to do anything. I didn't watch it yesterday, so I'm gonna watch like the playback today and get some reading done. And yeah, so now after this clip, I'm gonna show you like all the b-roll that I got when I went to New Hampshire. So I hope you enjoyed those clips, and I'll also include a little like 1 or 2 clips of the Joey Fatone and AJ Mclean Present Legendary Night concert right at the end, and then we'll go back into our regularly scheduled programming. So hope you enjoyed those b-roll clips, and I'll talk to you guys again at some other points. Okay, hey, so long time no update. So basically I finished my Lady Jane by the Lady Janies, aka Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, Jody Meadows. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. There were a few points that I found like really funny, like the narration that was going on in this I found really funny, and just like some of the commentary of the characters. But it's 3.5. Like I thought it was fine. I didn't like love it, didn't hate it. It was just somewhere in the middle. So 3.5. I think it was gonna be a 3 until I got to the ending, and then also 3.5 because a lot happened in the ending. So yeah, 3.5. Also, I did like the characters, but there wasn't like a character that I was like obsessed with. Like I was just like, I love this person, you know. And I feel like in any book I need a person that a character that I'm like, I'm obsessed with you, like I love you, like be my best friend, you know, that kind of like, I love like connection to a character. But I didn't get that with any of the characters in here. So yeah, but like I said before, yeah, I'm glad I read this now versus when I first started it a few years ago, because like I said before, I have now all this knowledge about the six wives of Henry VIII. So like reading this, and when things are mentioned about, like let's say Mary's mother, aka Aragon, or Bessie's mother, aka Boleyn, or Edward's mom, aka Jane Seymour, I know what they're talking about. And then also Catherine Parr was mentioned a few times in this, so I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about, I'm in the loop, you know. So, and when I first attempted to read this a few years ago, I didn't have that knowledge because I did not learn about the six wives of Henry VIII when I was in school. So because I live in the US, that's probably why. So maybe, at least I don't remember learning about any of them. So yeah, but yeah, 3.5. I know that like the second and third book in this follows different historical Janes, so I might pick up the next books. I kind of hope they're on Kindle Unlimited, but I feel like they won't be, because only the first book was turned into a TV show on Amazon, so I don't know, we'll see. Now speaking about the show on Amazon, oh, so I finished this yesterday. Yesterday was July 30th, Tuesday, at like 4 p.m. and then at like 7, I think it was, I started watching the TV show. I was like, just one episode. Who was I kidding? I knew I was gonna watch that all 8 episodes. So I watched all 8 episodes, finished at 2 a.m. and thoughts about the show. They changed a lot. There were a few changes that I did enjoy, mainly having to do with Edward. That was it. Okay, I accept those changes. There were other changes where I'm like, why? One of them being, which I feel like it's easily like doable, is the fact that in the show Jane doesn't have red hair, which is such like a big point in the book because everybody's just like, ill, red hair. So I'm like, that's easily like fixed with the wig. So I'm like, and I feel like shows, aka like Bridgerton, you can do a lot with a wig and they look very realistic. I don't know if it's just because there's more in the show, there's more like physical action that goes on, that I don't know, that will make it more difficult for actors to wear a wig, and that's why they didn't do wigs, or just Amazon didn't have the budget for wigs. I don't know, but I feel like that's one I was like, you can That's easily, like, you could easily like do that, even if the actress herself doesn't have red hair, you know. There were also, I feel like, major like plot points that were changed. A lot of major plot points that were changed that I was just like, that I wish they stuck a little bit truer to the book. There were also so in this book there are people, like I've talked about it before, like people called Ethians, which they can transform into a certain animal. Everyone's different, and they also have them in the show, but some of the characters have a different animal that they change into versus the book. Like in the book they change into this one certain animal, and then in the show they had a different animal. And I was like, that's also something that's just like, that's so easy to like keep the same. Why change it? Like, I don't understand. There were also characters, so there was like one character in particular that was eliminated from the show but kind of replaced with a different character, but this new character is different. So it's kind of like that person, but that person has a different name, and their whole backstory is different. So are they the same? Are they? I don't know. And then there's one other character that I'm trying to say this without spoiling either the book or the show, but there's one character that's one way in the book and then completely different in the TV show. Like what their what their role is. Not like role as in like their title, but role as in the role that they play in the story is different. And I'm like, why? Also, I did like Mary in the show. She was wild. And I feel like, yeah, in the book you don't get much from Mary, but you get way more of her in the TV show. And Mary, are you okay? In the TV show they also include like different like mentions of the different wives of the different wives of Henry VIII, but they the references were different than the book, and I found that fine because it's not, those things weren't like major like plot points. It's just like a little nugget information, you know. There was also an Anne Boleyn little Easter egg, I'm gonna call it an Easter egg, in the show of what, like, it's like, oh, Anne Boleyn, not physically Anne Boleyn, but oh, Anne Boleyn, you know. I'm not gonna say what it is because when I saw it I was like, oh, you know, like I know what that is. So I don't want to like ruin that for people who haven't watched the show and like have like a knowledge of Anne Boleyn. So like when they see it, they're like, oh, and they got the same reaction that I got. So I'm not gonna mention like exactly what that was. But yeah, character wise, there were a lot of like changes that were made that I was not too happy about, but overall the show was fun. It kept me intrigued. I wanted to keep watching the next episode and find out what happened. Also, I'll let you guys know because I didn't know. It's there's 8 episodes of the show, but it doesn't cover the whole book. So there's what's it called? There's hints at a second season, but we'll see if it actually gets a second season. The Rotten Tomato scores is like excellent from what I've been hearing, so I don't know why it wouldn't be renewed for a second season. So yeah, so the second season will cover the rest of the book, but I feel like the first 8 episodes covered a lot of the first book, so I'm not exactly sure where they're gonna head, what direction they're gonna head in season 2, if a season 2 happens. Also, I'll let you know, this is YA, so yeah, this is YA, and the romance is very, 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 very slow burn. So know that going into it. If you want a more elevated romance, the TV show is more, the romance is more fast paced, and it was more, I don't want to say explicit, but it was spicier than the book is, because there's no spice in this. Absolutely not. In the book, in the show, they were like, let's get into spice. Not Bridgerton level spice, but spice nonetheless. So, and that's something you will, that's also like a difference between the show and the book. Yeah, overall I enjoyed the book. Overall, I enjoyed the TV show. But see, this is sometimes why I'm like, it's like, if like reading the book first versus like the adaptation, because sometimes when there's so many changes in an adaptation, it like makes the adaptation like not as good. But if you look at it from not thinking like, oh, this is an adaptation of this book, and just look at it on its own, it's so good. So yeah, it's always tricky like with adaptations. Like, not to keep mentioning Bridgerton, but I haven't read any of the books and I love the TV show, but I know that there's major differences from the book to the TV show. So since I don't really know what those major differences are when certain things are included or changed in the TV show, I don't know what they are, so it doesn't bother me. Versus with like My Lady Jane, I know what they changed, so I'm like, excuse me, you know? So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It's always tricky with adaptations, and like reading the source material first or reading it second. I don't know if I ever read the adaptation second. It's either I read the source material first, or I don't read it at all. So yeah, let me know. This is not the end of the video, but let me know what you usually do when it comes to adaptations. Do you always read the source material first and then watch adaptation? Do you sometimes watch the adaptation and then read the source material? Or are you like me and it's sometimes I read the source material first and then watch, and then sometimes I just watch the adaptation and don't read the source material? So let me know where you fall in that. But yeah, also this clip is so long, I'm so sorry, but because I had to talk about like everything, like my thoughts on the book and the show, it ended up being a long clip and just making this longer. Anyways, what's coming up next? I'm debating on what to do, on what to read next, because I do have from Libby, I have the hell's the name of that book? I'm gonna put a picture here because I don't have the book basically. So Beyond the Isle of the Lost, Wonderland by Melissa de la Cruz. I have that, which is the book that comes before the new Descendants movie, the rise of Red. So I want to read that. It's pretty short. It's like 200 and something pages. It doesn't reach 300. So I'm debating if I should read that, so then I could finally watch the movie, and then this could be like a little video of like first like my little vacation, and then be reading and then watching like an adaptation. But with the whole Descendants thing, it's not the movie is not an adaptation of Beyond the Eye of the Lost, Wonderland. It is the way that the Descendants universe works is that what happens in the books is like things that happen between the movies. So you read the first book, Eye of the Lost, and then you watch the first movie, and then you read the next two books, so book 2, book 3, and then you watch the second movie, and then you read the fourth book, and then you watch the third movie. So everything's happening chronologically. It's not the books aren't adaptations. And then with Beyond the Eye of the Lost, you read the book first before you watch the movie, and then you just get like information. You see what happens before the movie actually starts. And I think it sets up for the movie, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, but still it'll be like, you know, reading like a book and then watching some sort of like, I don't want to say adaptation, because obviously this is an adaptation, but with the Descendants it's a little different. But it's still like reading a book first and then watching something related to the book. There you go, something related to the book. There we go. But yeah, I'm debating if I should do that or if I should start my reread of Three Dark Crowns by Kendall Blake. I got the audiobook from also Libby, and I'm planning on annotating this. I do want to film a read with me because I haven't uploaded a video in like 2 weeks, and a read with me is like very easy to film and edit and upload because there's minimal editing. So then I'll like start this and then film a read with me, versus I can't do that with Beyond the Eye of the Lost because that's just my Kindle, and I think that kind of read with me will be boring. I'm not sure, but let me know down below if you think read with me is where it's on when you're reading on a Kindle, if that's also enjoyable to watch. Let me know. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna, or if I'll do both and just read an hour of Three Dark Crowns so I could film the read with me, and then for the rest of the day focus on Beyond the Eye of the Lost. Since this is a reread, I think it's fine to like read a little bit and then pick it back up later on, like tomorrow or something. But yeah, I'm gonna finish my tea and make a decision, and then I'll let you know what the decision is. So thank you for, again, it's not the end of the video, but thank you for staying with me through this very long clip, and I'll catch up with you guys a little bit later. Hey, what's up? So it is Friday, August 2nd. It's 1:18 p.m. and okay, so this is what happened, and everything happened off camera and again B-roll. So I finished reading Beyond the Eye of the Lost, Wonderland by Melissa de la Cruz, and it was fine. You know, I just realized I didn't put that on my Goodreads. Anyways, it was fun. I think I enjoyed the other books, like the Eye of the Lost books, better. But again, it's like this book was introducing a new character, so yeah, it was fine. Yeah. And then I watched the movie, which I think in this case you don't really have to read the book to watch the movie, because like I said, it's not an adaptation of the book. It's just what happened in the book. It's like things that happened prior to the beginning of the movie. But in this case, I don't think you need to read it, because the only there wasn't much like world building in the book for Wonderland. Okay, I'll say this: you get more information about like how the Queen of Hearts runs Wonderland, but any like important information that you need they say in the movie, which is only like one thing, which is the whole the rabbit hole being closed, and why Wonderland isn't part of the Auradon world. That's explained. So in that sense, like, you didn't need to read the book to like learn that, because they explain it in the movie. Also, yeah, like 2 of the characters that were in the book aren't even in the movie. Yeah, and the movie also was fine. Again, it was like introducing new characters. There weren't many characters from I laughed because I just remember a line in the movie. I'm not gonna say what it was because that line threw me off. It's in a song. That's all I'll say. It was funny. And I watched Dylan from Dylan's in Trouble, his reaction of the movie, and I also watched Billy Binge's and movie commentary for it, and Dylan made a comment on the thing I'm thinking about. Anyways, so yeah, movie was fine. It might be something where it's like I might have to watch it a second time to like enjoy it more, because sometimes I don't know, because the plot was a little weird, because I felt like things were resolved too quickly and too easily. Yeah. And then also there was something that Alan from Descendants in Trouble, he talked about, like that, like that it made no sense of why it wasn't included in the movie, and I agree. I'm like, what? Which I think he talked about that at the very end of the video. So if you watch his videos, his movie commentaries, and you watch that, it's a comment that he made like at the very end, that something that wasn't included in the movie that was brought up, but we didn't get to see it. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, again, the movie was fine. Music wise, I feel like the other, like the original trilogy Descendants movies, had way better music than this new one, The Rise of Red. So there's that also. But yeah, I think overall both the book and the movie were fine. There wasn't anything like amazing about it. But in the movie, they do like a nod to Carlos, who was played by Cameron Boyce, who passed away right before the 3rd movie came out. So there's like, I'll just say like there's like a nod to him in the movie. So there's that. If you like, you were like interested in like what we were gonna do with in that situation, it's kind of explained, but they don't like straight up say like, oh, this is what happened, you know? Anyways, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, so now, where the hell did I put the book? So, okay, I still haven't filmed my read with me, starting Three Dark Crowns, my reread of Three Dark Crowns by Kendra Blake. So I'm gonna do that a little later. It's gonna go up tomorrow on Saturday instead of today, Friday, because yeah, no. I'm gonna film it tonight, read for an hour, and then edit a little bit after edit of it, and then it's gonna go up tomorrow, Saturday, August 3rd. So that's what's happening. Haven't started this yet. But yeah, that's it for now. I don't know if I'm gonna end this here. What is happening? I'll do an outro later if this is the end, but I'll see you later. Whatever. whatever. Okay, hey, what's up? I'm gonna turn on the AC. Okay, I'm gonna leave the AC on because there's like a party going on outside at 1 a.m. and they're playing music and copyright, so you know, I'm gonna leave it on. Okay, so I just wanted to wrap up this vlog finally, and I finally filmed my read with me, so it's gonna go up in a few hours since it's technically now Saturday. At some point today it's gonna go up on Saturday, August 3rd. Yes. And yeah, so I've been reading rereading Three Dark Crowns by Kendra Boyd. This is the first book in the Three Dark Crowns series. So okay, if you don't know what this is about, because I don't think I talked about, I don't think I gave a synopsis about this book. Okay, so basically there are these three queens, Three Dark Crowns, and we have one queen. We have Katarine, who is a poisoner. We have Mirabella, who is a elemental, and we have Arsenal, who is a naturalist. And basically in this world, they live in an island called Fenburn Island, and like each generation the queen has triplets, and they each possess one of like the magical talents: poisoner, naturalist, elemental. And on their 16th birthday, this event starts where the triplet queens have to basically, they have to eliminate the other two queens in order to be the queen. So that's what's about to happen. They just had their 16th birthday and this event is about to start, and it's not like they are like all put together and whoever survives survives. It's basically, I think they have a year to eliminate two queens, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have like a year, and it can happen like anytime. So basically they have to be on their toes. Like as soon as it starts, they have to be on their toes because they don't know how their sister is going to try to eliminate them. But yeah, that's like the main like premise of it. But like once you get to the end of this book and then once the second book starts, it like things change because things are discovered, things are revealed, and the plot thickens. To say the least. But yeah, I think I'll read the little poems in the beginning because I think that just like really describes like what this is. So it says, three dark queens are born in a glen. Sweet little triplets will never be friends. Three dark sisters, all fair to be seen, two to devour, and one to be queen. So that's like the little poem is at the start. And yeah, so I got to page, I'm in the middle of a chapter, I'm on page 92, and I've annotated a bit so far, and I'm excited to continue on with this reread, especially like continuing on with the series, because I felt when I first read it that the books just kept getting better as the series went on. And also just like rereading this, I don't know, it's like a different vibe because it took me so long to read this the first time. So I don't know, I just feel like it's a different vibe. And since I know I remember some of the things that's gonna happen, I'm just, I don't know, excited to like reread this, and I feel like I'm gonna enjoy this more the second time around, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, that's the updates. I'm gonna continue reading this in my next reading vlog, so you wanna continue with my journey rereading the series.
subscribe to my channel so you can like, so when I post my next reading vlog, you can watch it and you can see my thoughts on this. And yeah, I'm just gonna stop talking because I'm tired and this video I feel like it's gonna be really long. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys here next time on Yari. Hearts, bugs.